Hello students, today we'll do a poem called Abou bin Adhem by Lee Hunt. This is the 9th poem in our treasure trove of poems. Before starting the poem, I hope that you have finished watching the videos of the Little Match Girl, My Greatest Olympic Prize, and the poem 9 Gold Medals. I know that I have not sent the workbook notes for all these, but today, along with this poem, please check in the description box. Whether I mention it or not, please keep checking the description box for the notes, children. The poem is on page number 35. I hope you have the textbook with you and a pencil. Shall we start the poem, children? So who was Lee Hunt? In the book, if you check page number 34, we'll find Lee Hunt was an English poet, writer, and essayist. A firm liberal, Hunt claims through this poem that true worship is manifest through the acts of love and service that one shows one's fellow men and women. Abou bin Adhem by Lee Hunt is a literary gem based on the spirit of fraternity. The poem is Hunt's rendering of a divine encounter between an angel and the Sufi mystic Ibrahim bin Adhem. This is a narrative poem where Hunt uses storytelling technique to convey a profound reflection. Loving one's fellow man is perhaps more virtuous, if not at par, with loving the Almighty Himself. Lee Hunt's Abou bin Adhem is a poem published in 1838. The poem celebrates the humanitarian principle of loving fellow men rather than indulging in mere abstract love of God. The poem raises an important question: how we can love God whom we do not see if we don't love our fellow men whom we see. Before starting the poem, let me give you a brief background for this poem. Incidentally, the poem draws from Arabian lore, where in the Islamic month of Now's Shaban, God takes the golden book of mankind and chooses those dear to Him who He will call in the coming year. Thus, indirectly, this is also a poem of blessed death. Let us go to the poem, children. I hope all of you have the textbook. Page number 35. Abou bin Adhem, may his tribe increase, awoke one night from a deep dream of peace, and saw within the moonlight in his room, making it rich and like a lily in bloom, an angel writing in a book of gold. Exceeding peace had made bin Adhem bold, and to the presence in the room he said, "What writest thou?" The vision raised its head, and with a look made of all sweet accord answered, "The names of those who love the Lord." "And is mine one?" said Abou. "Nay, not so," replied the angel. Abou spoke more low, but surely still, and said, "I pray thee then, write me as one that loves his fellow men." The angel wrote and vanished. The next night it came again with a great wakening light, and showed the names who love of God had blessed, and lo, bin Adhem's name led all the rest. I hope you have got the gist of the poem, children. If you check page number 34 in the textbook, they have given a brief synopsis in introduction to the poem. Let me read that to you. Set in a Middle Eastern country, we have a glimpse of the life of a godly man who is visited by a divine messenger. At first, bin Adhem is disappointed to learn that his name is not among those who love God. He then asks his angelic visitor to at least include his name among those who loved other people. The next night, the visitor returns and shows bin Adhem the names of all people who had been blessed by God, and then bin Adhem is delighted to see his name heading the list. Shall we start the poem, children? Abou bin Adhem, The first line itself introduces us to Abu Ben Adhem, from which we derive the title of the poem, Abu Ben Adhem. And there is something in parenthesis, brackets. May his tribe increase. It is not part of the poem actually. Here it shows the admiration, the regard, the respect the speaker of this poem has towards Abu Ben Adhem. What are those? What does it mean actually? May his tribe increase. Mean he wishes, the narrator, the speaker of this poem wishes that there are more good men like Abu Ben Adhem in this world. If there are more men like Abu Ben Adhem, this world will be a better place to live. So here his tribe means people like Abu Ben Adhem in quality. That is what the poet is telling. May his tribe increase refer to, what does it refer? That people like Abu Ben, more people like, good men like Abu Ben Adhem fill this world, are there in this world, so that they can be remembered for generations. So what was he doing? Abu Ben Adhem awoke one night from a deep dream of peace, making it rich and like a lily in bloom. So what is happening? He was having a very peaceful sleep, a very deep meditative sleep, a real peaceful dream, or one could also, it could also be a reference to a deep meditative state. He had a good night's sleep and he was awakened by what? Abou's room was filled with moonlight, making it silvery bright that resembles a white budding lily in its beauty. The presence of the angel has made a transformation of the room. So what did Abu Ben Adhem saw? See, he saw the moonlight like presence of an angel brightening the room. On a symbolic note, it shows the brightness an angel can bring to one's life. It conveys the potential of the encounter between Abu Ben Adhem and the angel to bloom into something pure and noble. Did you check the figure of speech, children? Here, the brightness of the moonlight is compared to a lily in bloom. So I will show the picture in the next slide, children. See, I hope you all can see. This is Lee Hunt, the poet, and this is lily, the lily flowers. Shall we go back to the poem, children? So here, what did you see? The simile, the brightness is compared to the lily in bloom, making it rich and like a lily in bloom, an angel writing in a book of gold. It is not every day that one has a divine visitor calmly writing away in one's room. Imagine Abu Ben Adhem's astonishment to see an angel in his room, that too writing in a book of gold. What is this book of gold? This book of gold symbolizes its richness and the great value placed on its contents. So here the angel was writing in a book of gold. Exceeding pace had made Ben Adhem bold. A peaceful life, a virtuous life, an upright life had gave him, Ben Adhem, it gave him the courage. It had made him fearless because he had led a morally upright life, a virtuous saintly life. This gave him the courage to ask the angel, to the presence in the room, he said. What is the word used for the angel here now? The presence. And to the presence in the room, he said, what writest thou? Did you check the language, children? What writest thou? Yes, you might be familiar with such language. We see this in the Merchant of Venice. This is an archaic expression. Now it is old-fashioned. What do you tell in modern English then? What writest thou? What are you writing? The vision raised its head. Who is the vision here? I hope you are checking the words that are used, those which are used for describing the angel. In the previous line, we saw the presence. Now we see the word being used as, we see the word vision being used to refer to the angel. The vision raised its head. We don't know whether the angel is a male or a female. So the vision raised its head, and with a look made of all sweet accord. What does the vision say? And with a look of all sweet accord, in a very compassionate, kind voice. The angel replies in a tone of sweet accord, a voice full of patience and kindness, that it is writing the names of those who have been honored by heaven for the love of God. The vision raised its head and with a look made of all sweet accord answered, the names of those who love the Lord. And is mine one? Said Abou. Immediately, what does Abou ask? Eagerly, Abou asks if his love for God has been worthy enough to earn him a place in the angels' heavenly book. Nay, not so, replied the angel. But the angel replies in a very matter of fact, in a negative. No, your name is not in that list. Abou spoke more low. For a moment, Abou is dejected, disappointed. But what you have to see is he bounces back. He doesn't allow it to disappoint him for a longer time, but cheerily still and said, I pray thee then, write me as one that loves his fellow men. He still perseveres and humbly but cheerfully makes his iconic request to write his name as one who loves his fellow men. So what do you understand from this? Abou bin Adhem, he might be disappointed for a moment, but he doesn't allow that to remain, to make him bitter. Contemplate on the fact that Abou bin Adhem is unsure about his love for God, in contrast to the confidence he has of his love for mankind. Write me as one that loves his fellow men. These are the words that hold the poem's essence and render this poem immortal. The angel wrote and vanished. The next night it came again with a great awakening light and showed the names whom love of God had blessed. And lo, Ben Adhem's name led all the rest. Now, the angel, once Abou bin Adhem told him to add his name to the list of those who love his fellow men, the angel wrote something and vanished, disappeared. The next night, it came again with a great awakening light. Again, it came back in a blaze of light that awakened Abou bin Adhem. The light was so bright that it roused Abou bin Adhem. And what did the angel do? And showed the names whom love of God had blessed. And the angel enters with a great awakening light, so bright that it rouses Abou bin Adhem awake, and showed him the list. What was the list? And what to his surprise, and lo, what is this lo? Please, this is an exclamation of surprise, delight. And to his delight, it's a pleasant surprise for Abou bin Adhem. To his delight, what does Abou bin Adhem find? That his name topped the list of those people who had been blessed by God. His love for mankind proved to be valued greater than the others' love of God. So what is the message of this poem, children? The message of the poem is that people who love their fellow men will be blessed and loved by God himself. In the poem, Abou bin Adhem tries to convey the message that one who shows love, compassion, and empathy to their fellow human beings is the real worshipper of God. One can't achieve the blessing of God just by going to the respective holy places. I hope you have understood the poem, children. Let me show the pictures once again to you. Now, let us go to the themes. Before that, let us find out who the real Abou bin Adhem was. Okay, Ibrahim ibn Adhem, also called Ibrahim Balkhi, is one of the most prominent of the early ascetic Sufi saints. The story of his conversion is one of the most celebrated in Sufi legend as that of a prince renouncing his throne and choosing asceticism. Sufi tradition ascribes to Ibrahim countless acts of righteousness and his humble lifestyle, which contrasted sharply with his early life as a king of Balkhi. We have a similar one in Gautama Buddha, who also renounced his palace life and became an ascetic. Ibrahim emphasized the importance of silence and meditation for asceticism. Lihan's Abou bin Adhem is a story of Ibrahim ibn Adhem. Now, let us go to find the themes of this poem. So, what is the theme of this poem, children? It is true devotion to God. The poem Abou ben Adhem depicts that true devotion to God is found in love for one's neighbor. It is only when you love your fellow man you become worthy to be loved by God. The poem is a celebration of humanistic ideals. Abou ben Adhem, a simple soul, on realizing that his name is not in the list of people who love God, says to the angel that he loves his fellow men. The twist takes place the next night when the angel returns with another list having names of those who have been blessed by the love of God. Surprisingly, in this list, Ben Adhem's name appears at the top ahead of others. The poem thus brings out the message that love for one's fellow men matters greatly. Those who love their fellow men love God. And we find some supernatural element in the poem, just like in the story A Face in the Dark. The term supernatural refers to something above reason which cannot be explained by science or the laws of nature. It can be seen as relating to God, spirit, guardian angels, and other supernatural beings. The poem also has an eerie quality in it. The use of certain phrases like deep dream of peace, book of gold, the presence in the room, the vision, great wakening light adds to the supernatural quality of the poem. Abou waking up in the middle of the night, the moonlight brightening the room, the angel writing in a golden book, the vision with a face full of kindness, and the angel coming again with a great wakening light is magical and unbelievable. There is also a certain level of ambiguity in the poem. As a reader, it is difficult to decipher whether Abou actually encountered the angel or the entire episode was a dream. Thus, the episode is seen beyond earthly life and can be seen as belonging to the realm of the supernatural. Let us come to the form and structure of the poem, children. The poem is a parable in verse. What do you mean by parable? A parable is a short story or a poem used to illustrate moral or spiritual lessons as told by Jesus in the Gospels. The poem gives us the message that God loves those who love their fellow men. The poem has 18 lines in total, with first 14 lines comprising the first stanza and the last 4 lines the second stanza. The first stanza tells the readers about Abou's first encounter with the angel. The second stanza tells about the angel coming to Abou for second time with a revelation that he is the one who stands first in the list of people blessed by the love of God. Please refer to page number 136, 137 and 138 in your workbook, children, for more details. Is there a moral in the poem? Definitely. Let us see what is the moral of the poem. Abou ben Adhem reminds us of Christ's answer to the lawyer who wanted to know the greatest of God's commandments. Christ had replied, firstly, love the Lord thy God with thy whole heart, with thy whole mind, and with thy whole soul. And secondly, love thy neighbor as thyself. It is on this second commandment that the poem is written. Abou ben Adhem thus brings out this principle in a humanistic way. A critic pointed out accurately that how we can claim to love God, whom we can't see, if we don't love our fellow men, whom we can see. So I want to end this poem on the note, service to man is service to God. See you in the next class, children. Before that, please check in the description box if I have sent workbook notes. Thank you. See you in the next class.